Okay, thank you guys so much for joining today. Today we're going to talk about kind of what happens once you get a listing, right? What the steps are. You know, you've either gotten a rental listing or a sale listing, and now you want to get it on the market so that you can start kind of doing everything that we do once we get a listing. And so we're not going to be talking about actually getting the listing. That's another segment that we've done before. But what do we do once we have that listing to then expose it to the market and to get as many hits on it as we can, right? Our job is not to just find one buyer for a property, right? Or one tenant. We want to make sure that we have competition coming in and that we're having multiple people seeing and liking the property because that will get our seller or our landlord the highest possible price. So again, we're going to be talking about photos and floor plans. We're going to be talking about show sheets and affordability sheets, as well as marketing material. How to input a listing on OLR and StreetEasy today. This kind of also applies to OneKey for anyone who's on LIBOR. What the marketing opportunities that we have, either paid or free for when we do get a listing. The open house scheduling and how to go about doing that. What to do at the open house and what to do after the open house. So we'll kind of jump right in. So the first thing that you want to do is to schedule a photographer to do photos and floor plans. And if you're doing it, to also do a video of the property, right? You guys are able to use any professional company. And the two vendors that we tend to suggest are Heidi Solander, who has her own company, as well as Photo Habitats. And again, the pricing is going to be a little bit different for both. Both of them do both rentals and sales. Photo Habitats is maybe a little more on the affordable side. Heidi is my personal go-to. She does every listing that I have, be it a rental or sale. And she does cost a little bit more, but the proof is in the pudding. The quality of her photos, in my mind, is unmatched. So again, depending on your budget and what you're looking at, you're going to want to be doing photos and floor plans. Again, this includes every rental property you have, right? And one of the reasons that we invest in floor plans and photos is that we can then use it for additional marketing, right? Once we've rented the apartment, once we've sold the apartment, we can use it. These become photos and floor plans that we own. And again, if the apartment comes available a year or 2 years later, you'll have them already. You'll have great photos to use. And so it's always worth the investment, right? You cannot post to OLR or StreetEasy via Weichert with any non-professional photos, right? It's very important that you're getting professional ones done. It upholds your brand and it upholds our brand standard. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to input the listing online, right? So the first step of that is to create a property description so that you can use it in all your marketing. You can use the same property description for the websites you're going to input it into, as well as for your marketing materials, mass emails that you might send out and things like that. So it's always good to have that kind of separately done. I always do it in a Word file. That way I can kind of disseminate it out to all the different places where I need to do that and where I need to get that information out to. If you're putting the listing through REBNY, right? If it's a Weichert Properties listing, you're going to have to then input the listing in two places. The first is on OLR, and from OLR, it will feed to every other website once it's in there. And the other is StreetEasy. If you're a LIBOR member and only listing on LIBOR, you'll post it on LIBOR and it will feed everywhere from there. And then you'll post it on StreetEasy and it will feed to StreetEasy, Zillow, and Trulia from there. If you're a member of both firms and you want to list it on both, you do the same thing 3 places, right? You post it on OLR, you post it on LIBOR, and you post it on StreetEasy, and from there it will feed to every possible website that it needs to feed onto. So we're just going to walk through kind of where on OLR and StreetEasy we're going to go to actually post a listing. So I'm going to exit out of this for a second. Give me 1 second to do this. Okay, so when we're in OLR, hopefully you can still see this. We're going to go up to the top left corner where it says My Listings, and then we're going to click on Manage Listings. And again, this is a little bit different because I'm a manager, but yours is just going to pop up to this page, right? And so this is where we have any active listings that we have, any inactive listings and things like that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click on Add a Listing, right? So if it's an apartment for sale, be it a condo or co-op, you're going to go here to Add Listing. If it's a rental apartment, same thing that you have the exclusive on, you're going to go here to Add Listing. And if it's a building or house for sale, you're going to go here to add listing, right? And these are going to look fairly similar. There's going to be a little bit different information that you need to add in here, but all the information is going to be on here, right? So what we're going to do is let's just do a sample listing, right? I'm going to do a rental because that's the easiest one for me to do in here. And the first question it's going to ask you is this an exclusive apartment or is this an internal apartment, right? And you're going to want to make sure exclusive is selected, right? Because we're only putting onto OLR any listings that we have as an exclusive. So you're going to put in the building name or address. Let's just pretend I'm getting a listing at 138 Broadway, right? And it's going to pop down, right? So Smith Gray building is the one I'm talking about. Apartment number 6E, and I'm going to hit submit. So the next thing it's going to do is it's going to bring us to the property description page, right? And the building details and all of this in here should be automatically fed by OLR, and they should be reasonably accurate. Now, what we have to do is we have to follow the prompts and put in all the information about our property, right? Anything in pink is required. Anything that's not pink, you don't have to put in. But we're just going to go through this list. And again, this is a sample one. So this is a 3-bedroom, right? So it's going to ask you for rooms, beds, bathrooms. So rooms is the total number of rooms, right? So every room with the wall. And in this case, this is a 3-bedroom apartment that has an open kitchen and living room and 2 bathrooms, right? And so we don't count bathrooms towards the total room count, right? So I have 3 bedrooms, 1 living room, kitchen, and that's it. So I'm going to go to 4. Now, let's say you had a separate kitchen, a separate living room, and a separate dining room, right? Then this same listing would be 6 because there's 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, a dining room, and a living room. 6. Baths are totally separate. This one has 2 baths. And that's all we have to put in this first portion, right? Approximate square footage, if you have it. I know this is 1880. Floor, 6th floor, apartment line, E, rent, right? So in this case, I'm putting up a rental listing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up what the rental price is going to be, 10,000, term, minimum, maximum. This is a 12-month lease, so I'm going to do 12 to 12. Furnished rent, if it's available, furnished. Status, active. Listing type, exclusive. Agreement, revenue universal co-broke, right? That's what we're always going to select here, revenue universal co-broke. Security deposit, 1 month. That's all you can charge on a rental. And if the listing is a collect your own fee, right? If the tenant is paying our fee and we're advertising this out to other brokers as a collect your own fee, we can check this box right here. Again, availability date, when it's available. I'm going to put March 1st. Initial showings, March 1st. Exclusive signed. You put in the date, signed today. Exclusive expires 6 months out for this one. That day, right? So again, extended stay, daily and weekly. We're going to skip that. This is not an extended stay. So the commission, right? What is the commission that we are charging the consumer for renting this apartment? Or again, if this was a sale listing, it would say, you know, what are we collecting? What are we giving to the other side? Remember, for REBNY listings, it's always a 50-50 split between the house and the outside broker. Again, owner pays fee? No, because we didn't check off collect your own fee. Free rent, agent bonus, offering either to pay an OP or free rent. None of these are applying. Again, sponsor unit, board requirements, yada, yada, guarantors allowed, pet policy. This building is pets allowed. If there's a maximum weight, you can put it in. Apartment access, right? So how does this show, right? Is this with the keys with doorman? Does the super show? Are you showing? So again, I always check off agent shows because I'm always showing. And in this case, I always want 24 hours notice. So I'm going to check that off. Agent, it's me. Again, let's say I was doing this with someone else. You can type in their name and a Dropbox will come down. You can select them, right? If there's 3 of us on here, there we go, right? Or again, you can get rid of these people. So whoever's on the listing. Inclusions, if there are certain things that are included. Details, again, this gets pretty specific. Things that you can check off if you want them in the description, right? Hey, there's a dishwasher. Hey, it's a eating kitchen, right? New appliances, whatever it is, you can check these off. Exposure, right? North, east, west, south. Again, this one is north and west. Light, how good the light is, Outlook, open view, whatever the Outlook is. Again, these will all tell you, right? What is the overall condition? Newly painted, excellent condition, right? What is the kitchen? Newly painted, excellent condition. What is the bathroom? Newly painted, excellent condition, right? Again, there are certain things you don't have to select any of these. Air conditioning, we have central air here, and we have central heating. Open house dates, again, if you already know when your open house is, you can put in that date here. You can also add this in down the road, and we'll talk about that in a second. Broker summary, right? And so this is where we're going to put in the address. So again, it's my exclusive, so I don't care what the address shows as. And the broker summary, right? And we'll talk about this. This is kind of the description that you put in there. We all have different ways of doing this. For rentals, I usually do a pretty punchy description. For sales, maybe it's a little bit longer. You can put up to 5,000 characters in there. Okay, so it says listing documents. Drag and upload here. You do not have to do that, right? We do not have to give our exclusive to anyone. It's an internal company document, so don't worry about that. Listing syndication, right? Where do I want this listing to feed? Through OLR. And so I'm going to check off all of these. It's going to automatically feed all these places. Do I want to show the building on our company website? Yes. Do I want to show the address on our company website? Yes. Alternate neighborhood, there isn't one. Fee, full fee. And I hit submit, right? And I want to hit submit. If there's anything missing from this, it's going to ping me and say, you have to complete this. You scroll back up to that section and complete it, right? So I'm not going to submit this because it's a fake listing, but if I hit submit again, the listing would then be live on OLR, right? So it's kind of as simple as that. I'm going to go into one of my listings just to show you the other steps of this. Just update these because while I'm in here, so don't forget. Okay, so I'm going to go into one. Okay, so once the listing is active, it's going to show up here, right? And I'm going to go to the Huntington Street house that I have for sale here. If we click on this little tool, we're going to edit what the listing information is, right? We can edit what we just put in there for the listing, right? If you have a price drop, if you change the status or something like that, you click on that little pencil. In here, we can also add our photos, right? So if we go to Media Manager, what's going to do is it's going to allow us to, and again, in this case, this is already listed. I just wanted to kind of show you what this looks like, but we can change the photos and we can add the photos and things like that. And so you can click on photos, you can add photos from your computer. The same thing with floor plans, right? The good thing is, again, it will always tell you when you're highlighting this, what's going on, right? So this says the file size of an individual image cannot exceed 4 megabytes. So I know that if my file is over 4 megabytes, I have to reduce it down. For the floor plans, it has to be a JPEG, PNG, or GIF, right? So sometimes when we get a floor plan, it's a PDF, and all you have to do is save as and save it as a JPEG instead, right? And then you can upload it here, again, as you can see with the floor plans that I have in here. So again, simple as that to get your listing up onto OLR. It's a very simple process also on StreetEasy. So let's just go through what that looks like, right? So when I'm on StreetEasy, let me just go to the main page again. I'm going to go up here and it's going to say agent tools for you and my listings, right? And if I click there, again, I have kind of host access here. So I've got everyone's listings. But again, if I have a new sale, I go over here on the right to create sale. If I have a new rental, I click on rentals and I can create a new rental, right? And so let's just go through. I do have a new rental coming up, 138 Broadway. Penthouse E, create listing. And again, similar to the OLR system, it's not gonna let me do that. I have to do 6E. I just have to click through on that. Okay, so here we go. Again, similar to what we did in OLR, right? Exclusivity, it's my exclusive. Again, we do not have to attach the agreement. Start date, today. End date, September 1st. Commission, right? 15% fee on this one. Owner pays fee. I'm going to say no. Co-bro commission, 7.5%. Collect your own fee, no, right? Here's where I can add the listing team. You start typing in a name, find me. And what it's going to do is you have to select someone as the billing agent because we're putting up a rental here, right? For StreetEasy, rentals cost $6 a day to advertise. For sale listings, they don't cost anything. So I'm going to put myself in as the billing agent. You always have to affirm that your license is up to date here. We're going to the building, right? So again, a lot of these things are going to be selected automatically. Storage, bike room. There's a lockers downstairs that you can rent. We'll go to next. Okay, it's a condo, right? It's available. The rent, again, it's gonna be 10,000. Again, if it was a no fee, we check there. Concessions, no. Furnished, unfurnished. Rooms and descriptions. Again, the same thing we did before, right? How many legal bedrooms are there? This one has 3. It says 2 full baths, 0 half baths, total rooms, 3 bedrooms, plus 1 living room. We're at 4. We're at 1,800 square feet, right? And here's the description that we're going to put in. Is there any outdoor space? This one doesn't have any. Central air, dishwasher, washer dryer and unit, hardwood floors, city, skyline, water view. Next, photos and media. Again, we upload these directly here. Same thing with floor plans. If you want to do a 3D tour, you can. If you have a video, you put the link in from YouTube or Vimeo. Great. Marketing. Again, we'll talk about this in a minute, but this is where you can add an open house. If you already know when one is, you can put your personal website on here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change it from draft to active, right? And that's going to then hit it on the market and push it to StreetEasy to be active. I'm going to save this as a draft because I'm not done with this and I don't want to kind of publish it right now. But that's it, right? It's pretty simple to get your listing online. And so again, before you do this, you want to make sure you've got the photos and floor plans done. You want to make sure that you have the description, the draft description done and things like that. And that way you can kind of see what's going on and how many people are, so you have everything ready to go. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. Any questions about any of this that I've gone over so far? One question that we sometimes get from our sellers or our landlords is, when is this going to show up on X, Y, and Z website, right? So when we post it on OLR, within about 2 hours, it will feed to the REBNY RLS and be distributed everywhere. From there, it will go to places like Realtor.com, to Weichert.com, and from there, it will continue to syndicate out. StreetEasy, it's almost immediate, and within an hour or so, it goes to Zillow and Trulia. LiveBoard has a very similar thing. Again, where we'll go to those different websites in not too long of a time. Okay, so now it's live, right? Everything's, or at least we have a draft ready to go, right? So what's the next thing that we want to do, right? The next thing that we want to do is we want to put together our physical collateral and marketing and things like that, so that when we're showing the property, we have everything together for any potential buyer to show them that we're prepared and that everything's ready to go, right? So professional show sheets can be ordered or printed from the Weichert Design Center, right? And so I always do a show sheet for any of my kind of more expensive rental properties or every single sale listing, right? And I'm going to show you what this looks like and how to actually go in and do this. Again, our show sheets can be ordered by going into the Weichert Design Center, logging in with your information and clicking on catalog in the top left and selecting the NYC collection, right? So I'm logged into the design center. I'm just going to sign out to show you exactly what this looks like. So again, WeichertDesignCenter.com. If you have any issues, there's a phone number down here, and it's also on your onboarding sheet so that you can have all the information if you have any problems with this. But I'm going to log in, right? And up here on the top left-hand corner, I'm going to go to catalog. I'm going to scroll down here to NYC collection and click on it. Right? And this is all of our New York City marketing material, right? So again, if you want to do social media posts, they're here. This is where you ordered your business cards. In our case, what we're going to be doing is creating, the show sheets, right? So if I go here, you have 3 options. There's the New York Band collection, the Frame collection, and the Metro collection. And we have some examples of these in the office if you want to see what they look like. There's also little previews here on the screen. Personally, I like the Metro collection, so I'm going to hit view this category. Now, this is where we can send postcards to different buildings if we want to, and we can create the property brochure, which is what we call a show sheet. So I'm going to go here to view this catalog category, right? Do you want a 2-page, a 4-page with 1 floor plan, 2 floor plan? Again, I usually just do a quick 2-page brochure. I'm going to hit create now. And again, I'm just going to go into my drafts just so I can show you kind of what one of these completed looks like. All you have to do is go through these steps, right? So you name it, you customize it, you proof it. Let me see my last item, which should be this. Okay. So again, in the case of that house that I have at 10 Huntington, right? I went into 10 Huntington, hit next. Again, the photo for the front of the property, right? We can keep going in with that, what the second page looks like. And again, all you're going to do is upload photos into here, right? You can put up to 5 photos. You put your property description, the price. Again, if you're having show sheets ordered from the design center, I tend to not put the price in. And the reason for that is that sometimes the price will change. And if I've paid to order, 50 or 100 show sheets, I'd rather not have to reorder them. So again, I was printing these out, and so that's why I put in 20, the price in here. If I was actually paying for them to be actually created, I would not be putting the price in here, right? You can put a couple apartment and building amenities, right? And then you go to the next one, associate information. This will have my information in it, my photo. Again, you can upload it, you can edit the photo. Just a reminder, everyone's title is one of 2 things, right? With Weichert, you are either a licensed real estate salesperson or a licensed associate real estate broker, right? Those are the only 2 titles that you can possibly have legally in the state of New York. So you are one of those 2. Again, anyone who's been in the business for a while, you might be an associate broker. And if that's the case, you're a licensed associate real estate broker. You can write out as much or little of it as you want, but it has to have, all those components in it. Licensed real estate salesperson or like LIC, RE salesperson, whatever that is. And again, you go to the proof, it will create a proof for you. You can check it, see what it looks like, and you can come and print them out in the office, and then you have show sheets to go, right? Pretty simple. At the same time, the other thing that you can do is you can also ask Doug to create an affordability sheet, right? And what an affordability sheet is it's kind of like an additional show sheet that shows financing terms for the property, right? And what that means is that you can see, instead of, hey, this is costing, $2.3 million to purchase, you can say, well, if you put down 20%, this is only going to cost you $9,000 a month, right? And think of the psychological difference between that, right? It helps get Doug's name out there, and it also helps show that people can get financing on this and kind of what the general terms will look like on it. So what you can do is once the listing is live, you can send Doug a link and just say, hey, Doug, if you wouldn't mind sending me over the affordability sheets, I'd appreciate it. And he'll send them to you within a few hours. And again, if there's something you want done differently, just talk to him. He can do that for you. And it's a great service that he provides. Similar to what some of you have done with for sale by owner listings, right? Whenever you have a listing, you always want to have these affordability sheets to help show all the things that you're offering and that you're offering more than just putting out an MLS sheet or a show sheet or something like that. Okay, so we're going to talk about marketing opportunities next, right? So again, when you have a listing, it's one of the best ways to market yourself, right? And so there's a couple ways that we can take this listing and market it, right? So number one is we can do a property boost in My Weichert. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. A property boost when we're in My Weichert, right? If I go under marketing here on the left side, when we're logged into my.weichert.com. Oops, sorry, I'm going about this the wrong way. When I go into my.weichert.com, I want to go under listings and then check on my listings, right? And here we go. Here are the active listings that I have. So I'm going to click on the 10 Huntington one here on the left, and I can click on Boost Property. And what this will do is it will use the information in the system to create a different property boost that we can do based on what we're looking to do, right? So do we want to boost the listing? Do we want to talk about an open house we're having? Was there a price reduction, right? And you can see how the ad changes, right? Open house sold, right? If you sold it, right? And so what will happen is it will put this on different social media things, especially Facebook and Instagram, and send the traffic to a website, which can be your website. And again, for 60 bucks, you can do it for a week. For 250, you can do it for 4 weeks. For 150, you can do it for 3 weeks. Again, different pricing based on how long you're doing it and things like that. And it kind of tells you how many contacts you'll get in your database based on these boosts. I tend to do the 151. Again, you get some great clients, you pay for it, boom, it's done. You don't have to do anything else, right? It's pretty simple to do that property boost. And again, maybe you do one boost when you list it and one for an open house, a couple weeks later, or when you sold it, you do it to maybe get some more sellers to work with, right? And so that's a pretty affordable way of getting this property in front of more people's eyes. Another thing that you can do, and again, we've covered this separately, is that you can do a mass email through the MyWeichert system. Again, as long as you've had imported the zip codes that you want to blast it to, you can, in about a minute or two, put together an email to send out. Again, I sent out that video a couple weeks ago, so you can see that. That costs you nothing, right? That's one of the best ways that you have to market yourself to thousands of people with this listing. There's a couple other options. One is the StreetEasy Building Expert Program, where it's Agent Spotlight Program, I apologize, where it's a paid service, so you're the only listing agent on the property, right, to get you buyer leads. The price of that varies from listing to listing. For instance, I did it for the Huntington one, and it was a few $100s. Sometimes it's $100 to $150, just depending on purchase price. It kind of scales up from there. And again, what that will do is for 1 month, give you any direct buyers that are coming in through StreetEasy to your listing. You can also feature on StreetEasy. That costs anywhere from $50 to $500, again, depending on the duration that you're doing it. And that will put your listing on the top of the search for any of the searches that are being done, right? So I'm just going to show you what that looks like quickly. So again, if we're doing a buy, we're looking to buy in Red Hook for under, let's say, 3 million. And so you can see this as featured, right? So this is going to put this listing on top of everything else, right? Even if it was listed later, right? And I'm sorting by the newest, and these two, which have been on the market for some time, are actually higher than some of these newer ones that were recently listed, right? And so again, there's a fee for that. You pay StreetEasy directly. If you want to do it, totally up to you. Maybe if you're not getting a lot of traffic after a couple of weeks, you do that. Again, if you have a single family for sale, what you can do, or a multifamily or a building, you also want to get a sign, right? And that's one of the biggest things that we can do when we get the listing, is make sure that the owner is good with us having a sign in there. That way, people who walk by will know, right? And in the instance of the 10 Huntington apartment the building that I have, I put a sign up there, and I actually got a bunch of calls before the listing went live because the sign was installed a day early, right? And so it's a great way for people walking by. I put a QR code on my sign, so it links them to my website, so I can start getting some traffic from that as well. And if you're doing it in New York City, we use a company called Alp Signs. I can send you that information. If you're doing it in Long Island, we use Farmer Signs. Westchester, we have another company, so we can get you up there, right? These are all great marketing opportunities that you have to get the listing out there more. Open houses, right? So again, us putting up an open house, and as you saw before, let me just go back to the StreetEasy. When you post an open house, it's going to show here on StreetEasy, right? So people will be able to see that you're hosting an open house. So when you do have an open house, you have to post these specifically on the different websites, right? So if it's an OLR listing and a REBNY listing, you post on OLR, LIBOR listing on LIBOR, StreetEasy listing, you post it on StreetEasy for everything that we do in New York, and these will feed everywhere else. And so I'm just going to show you kind of where you're going to be posting these. Again, our best practice is in the first week of the listing, you should be having 2 open houses, and then at least 2 per week, right? Usually after works on the weekends. Again, if you need to do by appointment because of the building, that's fine. But open houses are a great way for you to not only sell that property, but to get in front of more potential buyers, right? Or more potential renters. And that is the best thing you can do, right? You want to get as many people in front of the property that you have the right to advertise as possible. So again, in OLR, I'm going to go to my listings, manage listings. Again, I got to put up me. yours will go right to you. So here are the listings that I have, right? And very easily here on the right, I can click manage open houses. I'm going to put an open house up for Sunday. Let's do from 1 to 3. Right? And I'm going to submit the open house. Easy as that. Pick the date, time, open house. Boom, done. On StreetEasy, now I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm going to go to my listings. Right? I'm going to pick on my listing. I'm going to go to edit here on the right. I'm going to go all the way on the right to marketing. Right? And again, you can see this is where I have the agent spotlight through the end of the next 2 weeks. And again, open house schedule. So I'm going to add an open house for the 6th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And again, some buildings require that you do by appointment only. This is a freestanding home, so I can do whatever I want. I'm going to add that. And now, again, when we go into the actual listing, let's just look up 10 Huntington. Yeah, I spelled that wrong, but they know what I was talking about. Right, here we go. Open house, Sunday from 1 to 3. Here's all the information, stuff like that. So it's as simple as that to get your open houses up. Again, just remember, you do have to post it both on OLR and StreetEasy or on LIBOR and StreetEasy for it to feed the open house to all the different websites. Now, let's talk about what happens at your open house, right? So we got it up, we're ready to go. Right, so my open house kit includes the following. And again, some people have more, some people, this is really the bare minimum, but you want to have with you at the open house. And I apologize, I meant to take a picture of the table that I had, but I had the show sheets, I had floor plans, I have affordability sheets from Doug. I have business cards for me, for Doug, and for Jamie, our insurance specialist. Again, for my house in Red Hook, people were very concerned about flooding, and Jamie can help them know that they're not going to need to get flood insurance for this house, right? Or they can get very minimal flood insurance for this home. And so having all these people and letting people know about the All Under One Roof team is essentially, again, part of our job as best practices to get our names out there and to get our company out there. You also want some means of signing in, right? And I make everyone sign in, even if they've already registered for the open house. What you want to do is use the My Weichert Open House app, right? If you don't have it, download it right now. It's an app that then links to the MLS. And every time you have an open house for a specific property, you can have people sign in on the app, and that way it will automatically feed into your My Weichert system, right? You don't have to manually do anything ever again, right? It's going to set them up, put in a search alert, start campaigns for them and stuff like that. And again, what it's going to do is it's going to help you build the relationship automatically with anyone who walked into your open house. If for some reason you forgot your phone, you can use paper sheets, but then after the open house, manually import everyone in there, right? I can't tell you how bad some people's handwriting is. And so it's much, much easier to have them use the My Weichert system to get it directly into your CRM, and then you can follow up with that. Excuse me. So again, after the showings and open house, right? That's kind of your next step. You want to follow up with every person who's set foot in the apartment, the house, whatever it is, right? And I always call. I call on Monday afternoon, and I say, thank you so much for stopping by the open house. I just wanted to follow up and see if you have any additional questions or feedback that I can share with the seller, or you could say landlord if it's a rental apartment, right? And this is great, right? Even if you could tell they did not like the apartment, there was something wrong with it. Oh my God, this person has the worst taste. I'm never going to buy this house, right? That's fine. But then you can get some constructive feedback, right? Be it from the consumer who came to the open house or from the broker who came to the open house with them or sent them, right? The broker will be able to give you feedback. And this is a great way to help adjust expectations, to adjust things, right? I had my first open house for that property at 10 Huntington in Red Hook. We had some good feedback. We had some people who thought, they didn't understand the layout of the home. Everyone's different, and it's good to share that, right? Not to say that you go back to your seller and say, oh my God, everyone hated your house, right? But hey, I reached out to everyone who came. I got feedback from 3 of them, and these were the comments I got, right? They would have liked a little more renovated, or, unfortunately the bedroom was too small, right? And again, that helps them understand what's happening with the market and really the live feedback from buyers, right? Not just what's sold and kind of how you priced it, but from who's actually looking, right? How does this compare to other places that are on the market, right? Again, you continue to follow up, and it really helps you to get a sense of what's out there on the market, right? And again, we keep doing this, right? We go back, we do more marketing the next week, we do more emails, we can do postcards, we can again post more open houses, right? So this is kind of a cyclical thing that happens and happens and happens as we're marketing this property. So I think that's it for my slides. I would love to open it up and answer any questions that you guys have, or go over anything that you need help with.
Hey Jason, I just wanted to clarify. So basically, when you upload a listing to StreetEasy, it goes to Zillow and the other
Trulia. Yep.
Trulia. Okay.
And again, the only listings that we're allowed to upload are anything that we have the exclusive right to sell or rent on, or a listing that we have the exclusive right to advertise from the property owner.
Got it.
Hey, Jason, great webinar, man.
Thanks,
Really
Harvey.
liked it. Okay.
Any questions? Maria, Tom, anything?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, perfect.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll send out these slides and everything to you guys, so you have them, and I'll send out the video later today. Thank you guys so much for your time, and have a great rest of
Hey, Jason.
the day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you,
Jason.
Jason. Thank you.
Jason, our